What did you think you were really good at until you watched someone else do it? Playing an instrument. I hear you. I'm a drummer and play in a couple of bands and like to think I'm decent at it. But there's always that 9-year-old Asian kid. Remember, you'll always be the best one for your friends and family. What if you belong to an Asian family? Then your 9-year-old cousin is better than you. Not if he breaks his fingers in an accident. I used to think I was pretty good at chess. Whenever I asked my friends to play after school I would always beat them. Then I actually joined in a chess club and never won a game again. My brother was pretty good at playing chess. Then he went to jail. Now he's the fucking grand champion / wizard of chess and he doesn't even try. Let's hope that he isn't the grand wizard of chess. KKK's best player by far. Ever tried to play Civ online after you thought you're basically God from all the AIs you've beaten? Holy shit. From 7k karma to 28k in a night LMAO. Also, thanks for gold Reddit. I can't even beat normal AI. I just play with the AI turned all the way down so I can feel good about myself for once. Running. You think you'll be okay until the kids in track start jogging. Ping pong. I've never lost to anyone I've ever met or any of my friends until one day I went to a ping pong club that met at a high school gym. The guy that managed the club was ex-Olympics and I couldn't score a single point on the worst player there. Maybe he wasn't the worst player there. Sports in general. I play ice hockey and sometimes I think I'm pretty good. Then a college player ought to show up and just knock my confidence levels way down. That reminds me of a time back in college when I was playing pickup football with some friends. Midway through our game some guy walks up and asks to play. Guy absolutely smoked us. No one could get a finger on him. Eventually he told us his name was Malcolm Williams. That really knocked me down a few pegs in my football confidence. Having intercourse with my wife, who TF downvoted this I'm tempted to give you silver. The guy who also had intercourse with his wife. Drawing. Everyone in my class told me I was good, but then I looked at other people draw online and I realized how crappy my drawing were. Life of every artist ever. The secret is to know you're terrible from the start and slowly move your way up to being slightly less terrible. I was decent at solving a Rubik's Cube, and in my group of friends I was the only one that could do it at all, so I felt pretty good about myself. Then I saw this kid speedrunning. Except back when I was a teen I didn't know that was what it was called and YouTube hadn't been invented yet. I just tried to fly through the stages in games like Mario World as fast as I could without dying, impressing my younger cousins. And then someone posted that famous 11-meter TAS of Mario Bros 3. Back at that point, 99% of people didn't know that. It was entirely pre-programmed. All we knew was this guy in Japan was wrecking SMB3 and using the unskippable battle fleet stage as a springboard practice maximuming out his life count. It was then I knew there's always someone better than you at something, and I've been fascinated with speedrunning ever since. Making balloon animals. I thought I was good at it. Making flamingos, eagles, beavers, giraffes, etc. Until a pro made a giant squid out of multiple balloons that he called his crane. I can make a badass snake, worm, and cucumber. Photography. As an amateur, I would never compare myself to a pro. I do decent pictures. I have a good eye for detail etc. One of my friend bought himself a camera. Same style as mine. Reflex. No previous photography experience with that kind of camera. My god. The pictures he does appear perfect. Full of emotions and just aesthetically amazing. Without any need of filtering or Photoshop. Programming. Hey, if it works it works. Efficiency though, yeah that's another thing. When I interviewed for my current job at an aerospace firm, the 3 interviewers asked me to work at a whiteboard while describing my research. My research involved laser physics, and while starting to draw I tried to gauge their knowledge level, and being kinda nervous I asked, "Do you guys know lasers?" They just looked at me and said yeah, so I kept going. Unbeknownst to me, one of them was a laser physics PhD with 20 Years of high energy laser experience. One of them was chief space systems architect at the company that specialized in ground to space laser communication systems, and the other was a space systems department head. Months later, I was working on a project for the laser communications guy, who was basically giving me a crash course on atmospheric optics, and I started laughing because I remembered the time I asked him, do you know lasers? Painting. Fine art painting, oils, acrylics, watercolors. Then my first child got accepted into art school and she can art circles around me now. I'm so proud I can't even be discouraged. Edit. Thank you for the silver and gold, kind strangers. I'm a proud mom. Gaming. Drawing and a ton of other stuff actually. This was mostly during my years in elementary school, since I actually was great at a lot of things compared to my friends. I can't say I wasn't a bit arrogant. College shut me down though. Well yeah, you were in elementary school. Not only is the sample size much smaller, but there's way less discrepancy between to 6-year-olds life experience and to 20-year-olds experiences. I see people say things like, I was so gifted in elementary school but later as a teenager my anxiety. Yeah no, you didn't prove anything in elementary school except you weren't mentally handicapped and were an average functioning kid. People get this falsely inflated sense of skill in elementary school because they see disadvantaged kids around them or have parents who preach how special and uniquely talented they are, and the kid grows complacent because of it. Truly extraordinary individuals typically emerge much later in life after they decided to seriously pursue a skill and have had that commitment tested by a myriad of obstacles. There's no shame in being average, and remarkable success typically requires great effort. Better to teach that instead of different shades of your ability is solely a product of your genes. Not discounting anyone's experience with anxiety, but I often see it used as an excuse as to why they fell from a lofty height when in reality they simply became disillusioned with their own innate talent. I thought I was really good at fucking up my life. Then I found Reddit. The PC game Total War. Thought I was really good. Went multiplayer. It turned out I had the Dunning-Kruger effect. So many of us in our 30s and 40s had to face hard facts when online multiplayer became a thing. We were just older brother good. I was the best Boggle player in my universe as a child. I'd take on whole rooms of people as a party trick, i.e. everyone else versus me. Then the internet existed, and Boggle style games popped up online, and I found out I was only the 783 best Boggle player in the world on that website at that moment. Being a leader. Spent 5 years in the Marine Corps where leadership is instilled in everyone. From the lowliest private to the commandant of the Marine Corps, leadership is stressed and honed. Got out and got a job where I thought I could lead people. They made me a freaking supervisor of multiple programs and a bunch of people. Turns out I kind of suck at it, but effective leadership is something that has to be cultivated, practiced, refined, and reshaped as the needs dictate. I've been given a leadership position now and find it continuously challenging. Luckily, I've had plenty of good leaders to show me what to do in the past. Video games. Played since I was a kid, and I'm awful at them. I can actually feel myself getting worse at video games as I get older. Beatboxing. Then some guy at school blew my mind. Remember when Justin Timberlake used to beatbox on his albums? Rock Your Body remembers. Math. I empathize with this so much. I double majored in math and physics in undergrad, had a job in a physics lab, but was still considering pursuing math long term. So I accepted a research internship in math at a different school nearby. One of the guys I worked with was just reading linear algebra textbooks in his downtime and proving circles around me. In fact, the professor who was to supervise us / work with us just had this guy supervise us instead and met with us for like an hour a day. The guy would finish a proof like 10 minutes after the prof asked us, then he would give us hints until we got it. Fucking frightening. So now I do physics and stay the fuck away from theory and proofs and math as much as possible. I used to think that I could lift things on my back all day every day. I could carry furnitures like bookshelves, drawers, and single couches regardless how heavy they were. I walk while carrying them on my back as long as I needed to, until I went to the gym and see all these ripped people weightlifting the dumbbells that I reckon were 5 times the weight of the stuff I was carrying. I then had a hernia repair due to piggybacking an ex-girlfriend too many times. Shocking thing. In your defense, exes carry a lot of baggage with them. Advice from my granddaddy: no matter what you do, someone will always be better than you. But nobody will ever be better than you at all the things you do. You gotta change your perspective a little. You're the best version of you that ever existed. I always thought I was the best at eating avocados until I met my wife. She really knows how to get every last drop. Why is your avocado dripping? It doesn't matter how good you are at something. There will always be some 6-year-old kid that's 10 times better than you, and that's just a fact of life. I'm an expert at chugging whiskey though. I'd like to meet that kid. Rocket League. After getting the game I thought I was pretty good at it. I was winning game after game and pulling off some cool moves. Then I joined r/Rocket League and started seeing clips from actual good players and realized that I had a long way to go. Public speaking. For some reason I can do 500 people crowds, but I start forgetting shit in a 10-person lecture. In a lecture hall, you can look at the crowd as a whole. In an audience of 10, you see that Frank is checking his watch every other minute and Barbara is doodling on her notepad. Computers. I thought I was a pretty smart guy, good with computers and whatnot. Then I went to college to learn software development. That's where I met the real geniuses. I learned that I was just good at pattern recognition, but not actually that good at abstract thinking and creating new information. Watching a guy half my age get above 100% in most of the classes I struggled to pass was an eye-opener. Epilogue. I discovered that my talent for pattern recognition made me a fantastic QA person, and I have a great career fixing the mistakes of people way smarter than me. I spend all day nitpicking their code and they thank me for it. SNES Mario Kart. I thought I was an unstoppable fucking machine. That was basically the game. I played it daily for years, got to college, so had everyone else. Fighting. I thought I would be ready for a street fight with martial arts training. Yeah, I know people become animals and all the training goes out the windows, there's no tapping out. A friend of mine told me, if you are ever in a serious fight, get a hold of the other guy's ear and rip it off. Nobody wants to fight after their ear has been ripped off. Weightlifting. Just spotted a guy who butt fucked my maximum deadlift on his squat. Just eat clean, train hard, and never give up. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, 1 lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.